My name is Sam Walker. I've been a city bus driver in Brooklyn Heights, New York for over 23 years. And in all that time, I've seen just about everything, from morning smiles to midnight chaos. But there's one ride I'll never forget, because that day a stranger stepped on my bus and changed how I see my job and my city forever. It was a chilly Tuesday morning. The usual crowd, nurses, office workers, students, filled the seats. I was halfway through Route 27 when I noticed a woman step in quietly. No fancy clothes, no makeup, no security guards, just jeans, a gray hoodie, and the kind of calm face you don't forget. She tapped her Metro card, smiled politely, and took a seat near the window. Nothing unusual. At least, that's what I thought. A few stops later, an older man with a cane got on. Nobody moved. Not a single person even looked up. Then that woman, the one in the hoodie, stood up immediately. "Here, sir, please take my seat," she said softly. The old man smiled. "Thank you, young lady. You've got better manners than half the people running this city." She just smiled back. Something about her felt grounded, kind. A few minutes later, trouble started. A man in a navy blue suit stomped up to me, waving his phone. "Do you even know who I am?" he barked. "I pay more in taxes than this entire bus combined." He hadn't tapped his card. He just stormed in like he owned the place. I kept my cool. "Sir, please pay your fare or step off the bus." He sneered. "You people work for me." The bus went silent. Everyone was watching. And then that same quiet woman stood up again. "Actually, sir," she said calmly, "he doesn't work for you. He works for this city. And in this city, everyone pays their way." The man turned red. "Who are you supposed to be, the fare police?" She didn't flinch. Just someone who believes rules matter, even when no one's watching. For a moment, no one spoke. Then a man shoved a dollar into the fare box, muttered something rude, and sat down. The bus clapped. Me? I just smiled. Whoever that woman was, she had courage. When we reached the last stop, she stayed behind as everyone left. She walked up to me and said, "Do you ever get any recognition for what you do?" I laughed. "Recognition? Ma'am, I'm just trying to make it through the day without someone yelling at me." She smiled and said quietly, "That's about to change." Then she left just like that. The next morning, I got to work like always. But when I walked into the depot, people were pointing at the TV. There she was, that same woman, standing behind a podium at City Hall. Mayor Olivia Grant, the youngest mayor in Brooklyn Heights history, the woman from my bus. She looked right into the camera and said, "Yesterday, I rode bus Route 27. I met a man named Sam, a driver who's been serving this city for 23 years without a single complaint. And I saw how people treat those who quietly keep our city alive every day." Then she announced something new. A city program called Heroes on Wheels to honor drivers, janitors, nurses, and all of us who serve behind the scenes. I couldn't believe it. That one bus ride had started something big. A few weeks later, they called me to City Hall. I thought maybe I'd done something wrong, but when I walked in, cameras were flashing. Mayor Grant handed me a plaque that said, "Employee of the Year." I'll never forget what I told her on that stage. I've driven this bus for half my life, but today is the first time I feel truly seen. The audience stood and clapped. Even that same rude man from the bus was there, sitting quietly in the back, eyes down, looking ashamed. That day taught me something. You never know who's watching or how one act of kindness can ripple through an entire city. Real power doesn't come from a badge or a title. It comes from empathy, from seeing people really seeing them. And sometimes the smallest moment becomes the start of real change. Respect everyone, because dignity is not defined by what we wear, but by how we treat others. Subscribe to Moralist for more true and inspiring stories that touch the heart and open the mind.